Hey guys, Peter Chen here, recording another 500 Zoom video. On table 1, we face an open, big blind against small blind with 7-3 suited. I'm not folding any suited hands here. I think the only suited hand we ever fold is 7-2. And facing this bet, we have we have a lot of backdoor draws. Like we can make a straight from the 3 to the 7, the 5 to the 9. We have backdoor clubs, so I'm just going to call a small bet, and now on the turn, we don't hit anything. I just have 7 high, so folding. I didn't upload last week since I made a final table of a 1K on party where there were 3 days between day 2 and day 3, which was the final table. So I spent the entire week preparing for that and then busted in 8th place. Was a good experience though. So on table 1, hijack opens, small blind calls, and I call the big blind. I'm not sure if I can bet the river or not. Table 2, opening the small blind with king 9. On this flop, I'm going to be betting most of what I have. I have a decent hand to check, but I think an okay simplification for how I play here is just going to be betting my range. If I were to check, I'd check back hands like this, ace 5 without any suit, or like a small pair of 6s. And check folding on the turn. On table 1, I open the button. On this flop, I'm going to bet with my range for a small size. Again, I have a decent hand to check back, but I'll just be betting my range and folding to this raise. Table 2, I open the small blind. I'll be betting my range for a small size again. Not much going on right now. table 2, the 8-4 is not strong enough to call. Table 1, I'll be defending with Queen Jack from the big blind. This is kind of a big bet. I think with my gut shot and 2 overs, I'll just be calling. Maybe I can raise sometimes. This seems like a decent turn to do some leading on. And I also have a decent hand to do some leading. I would guess I'm supposed to lead a small amount of the time with my hand. I'll take anything that's 2-pair plus or any kind of draw and just bet it sometimes. On table 2, I opened the button, big blind called. I bet small on the flop. And on this turn, I could bet or check. I think I'm mostly going to be betting, and mostly betting for a small size on this turn that connects with a lot of hands. Table 2, I'll be opening 10-8 suited from the hijack. Table 1, opening ace-3 from the button, and table 2, opening ace-queen from the cutoff. On table 2, this is a flop where I'm going to get some betting and some checking. My hand is mostly going to want to check. I'll still be betting it sometimes though. We get this ace on the turn, and I think he's supposed to be checking most of the time and betting big. But once we get checked to, I think with hands like this, I can start betting big. I'm almost never behind. On table 1, I open the small blind with 10s, bet quarter pot on the flop, and on the turn, I'm going to check call. I have a medium strength hand, decent draw. I'm going to check again. I think my hand is strong enough to call. A bit surprised by that check back. I think anything I have that's stronger than an ace, I would have bet it myself already instead of just putting in a quarter pot bet on the flop and then checking 2 streets. So he should be going for value. Now I 3-bet 6-5 suited, big blind against small blind. I get a decent flop for me, but pretty much I have a hand that can be betting on most flops. I'll be flopping a lot of 6-high, which is a decent hand to bluff. Especially when I have the gut shot and hit it. Now I'm going to be betting again. And the 4, although I hit it, is a pretty, it's pretty much a blank. We both have wide ranges, and the only thing that improves for us, for both of us, is really 6-5 suited. And now I have the nuts with close to half pot, or close to pot behind, so pretty clear to just put the money in. On table 2, I called the big blind against button with queen 6 suited. It goes check, check. I don't want to be betting too often on this turn, and I want to be betting for a big size, so I'll be betting with my draws. I got called down by pocket twos. And with queen high now, I'm just folding to a bet. Going to fold the 6-7 suited on table 1. It's mixed, but tough lineup behind, so I won't be playing it. On table 2, opening queen jack. On table 1, I'll be calling this 10-7. I could 3-bet it a small percent of the time. Against a small bet, I would maybe raise this hand sometimes, but against a big bet, I think I should be mostly calling. Although this is a flop where he maybe only has a half pot bet. And now that the turn has checked through, I think I can go for a pretty big bet with this hand. Still getting value from like an 8, maybe a 6. I got called by a 10 with a better kicker. On table 2, opening pocket 7s from the button. And on table 1, opening 10-8 suited from the small blind. On table 2, this king queen, I think I could either 3-bet or call it. Going to call this time. It seems like I have a decent hand to check back. I don't know which of my club hands I want to be betting, but I'm guessing I want to be betting the lower ones a little more and checking king high a little more. And now I'm going to be calling. I have a lot of pretty strong outs against most things he can have. If I hit my king or queen, I'll be good a bunch. And then if I hit my flush, basically I'll always have the best hand. And when I get checked to, I have a decent hand to bluff. I might not have the ideal blockers, but I basically can't have much worse. I'm not calling with any high card hands without the clubs. On table 2, we can 3-bet this 10-5 sometimes. Call also. So I 3-bet, get called. We get led into on the flop. He can have such strong hands on this board. I think even though I have a pair, maybe I'm not supposed to always be calling. I'm still going to call, but I'm unsure about just calling every 10 here. On table 1, I open cutoff with pocket 4s, and I'll be calling this 3-bet. And I'll be checking back this 10. I still have some Queen X and Jack X that I can bluff. Actually, I'm not sure if I even call those hands. I feel like I'm getting into a very tough spot where I might not be bluffing at all. But it is going to be hard for him to fold when I'm guessing a lot of the hands he has is an ace. I don't know if he has anything between a 10 and an ace that he folds, so I'll just check back my whole range, I guess. That entire hand was very confusing to me. So on table 1, we open ace queen, get 3-bet by the big blind. I'll be calling this. We face a half pot bet on the flop. I don't think I'll ever raise. I have a decent hand to do it with, but I basically don't want to be raising much against bigger bets. If he bet quarter pot, I would raise some of the time. We face another half pot bet. Basically, I'm never folding this hand. I'll be calling most rivers as well. It seems like I'm lagging a bit. I really hope I don't time out and fold. Alright, on this blank river, I think I'll just be calling down. You can have aces, kings, tens, queens, but also just have ace king or ace jack or something. Or even worse draws. Like, I really hope I don't disconnect. although maybe disconnecting will save me money. All right, I'm very glad that I did not disconnect, but yeah, so I don't think that's a hand he's supposed to be bluffing for three streets, but it is reasonable to take pocket pairs as a bluff. So there's this limp on table two. Going to call the small blind. Basically, in this spot, I'm going to be calling every suited hand. Calling or raising every suited hand, not folding. Table two, I open the small, or table one, I open the small blind, bet small. I think I'm just check folding on this turn. On table two with the flush draw, even though he bets pot, I think I just have to call. I hit my flush. Could consider leading here. Basically in this hand, with his pot size bet, he's told me he's strong. I'm guessing he just has a king a lot of the time. So I just want to size this to get called by a king. And I think a pot size bet is getting called an over bet. Might make a king fold on the flush and paired board. I'm gonna cut this session short due to internet problems, although it looks like my internet connection is good. I'm not sure why I was timing out there. I do have these three chests, which I will open here. Maybe we'll get more than 10 cents of rake back. So we got $1.80 worth there, another $3. So we got a total of $6.90 of rake back, which is pretty nice since I don't think I've played any cash sessions. I've just played tournaments on Sunday. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next week.